Yo, it's Brock, and today we are doing another Is It Worth It in 2022, and this time we're talking the Canon C200. So this C200 is actually the main camera that I use at my job, and we purchased it in 2020, and it has become our main workhorse camera for all film video projects that we do. It's become that camera that we use for pretty much everything that involves a higher quality end result or end delivery, and this is the camera that we use to do that. One of the things that I've come to love about the C200 since getting it is the fact that it's a cinema camera that lends itself to run and gun filmmaking, and that's pretty much all that I do. The fact that it has two full-size XLRs, two full-size HDMIs, SDI, 10 stops of internal ND filters. You can record to SD card, you can record to CFast, you have raw light, you have MP4 files, you can do all these different types of things depending on what environment you're shooting in. You can kit it out fully for a set, if you're gonna be on set for like a commercial or something, or you can strip it down and just run with it handheld and call it a day. There's so many options with this camera, and I think its versatility is probably my favorite thing about it. The reason I'm bringing up if this camera is even worth it in 2022 is because there's been a lot of new entries into the market in this price range as of the last 2 years, and I think it's really an important question to ask yourself if you're going to go out and spend $5,000 on a C200, which is what they are new roughly, when you can get a C70 for the same price. There's all these different options out here in this kind of entry-level cinema camera line that could possibly be a better buy for your money than the C200 today. So recording on the C200, what are your options, right? You have SD cards, and then you have CFast 2.0 cards. With the SD cards, you're gonna get more of an MP4, lighter file size. You're gonna get 8-bit color depth. You're gonna get 4K 60 in 8-bit. That is an option, it's there. This is gonna be better for, you know, publishing your stuff online, or where there's gonna be heavy compression involved, or if like long form content, because this is just such smaller file sizes. And then for me, when I do big projects, I break out the CFast 2.0 cards, and this is going to be Canon Cinema Raw Lite. This footage looks great. Now, it is huge. The file sizes are astronomical. With a 128 gig CFast card in 4K, 23.9 frames a second, you're only getting 16 minutes worth of footage. That is insane. So the file sizes are massive, but what do you get with these file sizes? You do get 12-bit color, which is huge. I mean, if you've ever graded on 12-bit color, you know how awesome it is and how much you can push and pull the image, and how much information can get retained, and how much information you can pull out of your footage to really create a stylized look. Now, you can also go to 4K 60 in raw light, but then you bump down to 10-bit color. So that's the only thing that you need to keep in mind, but 10-bit color is still plenty for a lot of online and most professional work. You're gonna get away with 10-bit color. But a lot of times when I do need something super professional, super high quality, future-proof, I love this Cinema Raw Lite file format. So those are your file formats. So now how does this compare to other cameras on the market? Well, now you have the C70 that you can go out and buy for the same price. So what do you get with the C70 that you don't get with the C200 and vice versa? So to me, the two biggest upgrades with the C70 is going to be the 4K 120 and the RF mount. I think the C70 is definitely more future-proofed, especially if you've already entered into the Canon RF line with the R6, the R5, or R3, or the EOS R even. You already have RF glass. You don't have to worry about adapters. These new RF lenses are incredible, some of the best lenses that you can buy, and they're gonna look great on a C70. So not being able to use them on the C200 can be a deal breaker. The other thing is you're gonna get 4K 120 on the C70. This is a big deal for me. I would love to be able to shoot full 120 slow-mo B-roll stuff in 4K. I can't do that on any of my cameras at the moment, and that would be a huge upgrade for me with my workflow because I do a lot of that type of stuff. The C70 also gives you more manageable 10-bit color options. The only 10-bit color option on the C200 is going to be 4K 60 in RAW. A lot of times you need 10-bit color, but you don't want to shoot in RAW, and there's no option to do that on the C200, but the C70 there is. Because on the C70, there is no RAW. So if you need RAW video, Canon Cinema Raw Lite, maybe that's not the camera for you. Maybe you need to go to the C200, or you need to go to, you know, the C300 or the 500 or whatever you're going to do. That may be a better option, but the C70 has a ton more 10-bit color options that you can choose from, and I think that's huge for file management and just space in general. Now, the C70 does miss a lot of things that the C200 has when it comes to the body and the ports available in the I/O. You have no SDI on the C70, and in a professional workflow, that's kind of a deal breaker for a lot of people. And you also don't have full-size XLR on the C70. So those are some things you need to think about too. It is a give and take, even though they are the same price, and the C70 is newer and flashier. You might want to think about those things as well before you go out and buy one over something like a C200. So you guys know I have the R6 and I love it. It's my main camera. It's my personal camera. I use it for all my YouTube videos that you see on this channel. And even in work, I find myself picking up the R6 over the C200. And this is for a couple reasons. One, because it's smaller, it's easier to carry, easier to shoot with, and more manageable to carry in a bag. And two, the main reason is 10-bit color. The R6 has 10-bit color in manageable file sizes as opposed to the C200. I shot a video recently with my C200 as the B cam to my R6 because I didn't want to shoot in RAW. I didn't have the space for the project that I had to deal with the file sizes. So I chose to shoot in 8-bit 4K on the C200 and 10-bit 4K in C-Log 3 on the R6. And honestly, the R6 footage graded so much better. It's crazy what 8-bit color will do. And so I do think that is a very big downside of the C200 in 2022, is not a realistic workflow for 10-bit color in that camera. There's just not. It's just not there. You end up having to shoot in 4K 60 just to get 10-bit color, or you have to shoot in 24 and you're going to get 12-bit color, which is obviously better, but you're also dealing with the file sizes. So it's a real give and take to me with this camera, and that's kind of the biggest frustration for me in 2022 using it, is because I've gotten so used to 10-bit color now that when I use 8-bit, I just can't stand it. It's just does not meet my standards anymore. So now we've come to the question is, would I buy this camera today? I don't know that I would. I don't know that I would pay full price for it. Maybe if you found one used, I would definitely buy it. But for me, if I was going to spend $5,400 for a brand new cinema camera, I'm going to buy the C70 for my workflow, because I just think it has features that I would use better, and it's a more of a manageable workflow for me when it comes to file sizes and all those things. But if you need 12-bit RAW and you're shooting short films and all these, high-end projects, then yeah, a C200 is a great way to get into that environment, in that field, and that level with a camera like that. And it's by all means can create some amazing results, arguably potentially even better than the C70 because of its raw abilities, but you just got to deal with that file size. For me, I would love to see Canon come out with a C200 Mark II. I think they could hit a spot in the market that's above the C70 but below the C300, C500 range, and really attack a group of users there that would love a camera in that ballpark that offers some features along those lines. But who knows what Canon will do? A lot of people thought the C70 was going to be the C200 Mark II, but it turned out to be a whole new thing. Who knows if Canon will even continue to put out EF cinema line cameras? We don't really know. So time will tell in that department, but ultimately, that's kind of where I landed with this camera, is the fact that I don't know that I would buy it for full price brand new, but if you get a good deal on one used, by all means pick it up. I think I would go with the C70 over the C200, at least for my needs. But let me know in the comments what you guys think. I'd love to hear from you if you guys love the C200, if you have one, or if you have the C70 and chose it over the C200. I'd love to hear your reasonings behind it. So let me know in the comments. Again, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really appreciate all of you. Again, as of time recording this video, we're like at 496 subscribers, so we're so close. We're 4 away from 500, and there's going to be a big giveaway, so make sure that you're subscribed. Make sure that you turn your notifications on so you don't miss that video when it comes out. I really appreciate you all. I'll catch you in the next one.